Hollywood might be one of the most mysterious industries ever, but since the industry is so secretive, people assume the worst about public figures and create conspiracy theories about topics such as mind control, cloning, secret societies, devil worship, you name it. And with the rise of social media, it's super easy to spread disinformation, and these theories usually manifest into a giant hoax. People think that just because they see something on the internet, it must be true, and don't even bother to do their own due diligence. Death is something we're all going to have to face sooner or later, but when it comes to high-profile deaths, people often turn them into conspiracies, alleging involvement of the powers that be. Some celebrities left the industry and started sharing secrets. People even believe that a lot of them leave hidden messages in their music and work. But the vast majority of these conspiracies are nonsense, and you'll be shocked at the amount of attention they get and how many people actually believe them. In this video, I'll be discussing some of the most ridiculous hoaxes and conspiracy theories about Black celebrities. Legendary rock and roll Hall of Famer Stevie Wonder became a child prodigy in the 1960s with the ability to sing, play multiple instruments, and write music, all while blind. He was born 6 weeks early before his eye blood vessels properly formed, also known as retinopathy of prematurity, an eye disorder that resulted in his blindness. But even with all of his influence and contributions to music, people still doubt his blindness and claims it's all a PR stunt. But some of his actions over the years have done nothing but fuel the conspiracy. For example, in 1996, Stevie was photographed holding a camera up to his eye to take a picture of Michael Jackson at the Motown Museum while someone assisted him. Another time in 2010, Stevie prevented a microphone stand from falling during a performance at the White House, leaving viewers confused. Paul McCartney accidentally knocked it over as he skipped across the stage. But if you look closely, the mic stand looks like it just fell into Stevie's arms. Stevie, who often attends basketball games, often poke fun at his blindness and the conspiracies.
Are you filming this? Oh yeah. I don't want to see this on TV.
Celebrities have also added fuel to the conspiracy over the years with their own accounts of the legendary singer allegedly being able to see.
I'm already in the building. I'm coming through the lobby. Door opens. It's Stevie Wonder. He comes in, says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. Hold on, true story. Presses the button, gets off on the floor, buys stuff, goes to his room. I went and called every person I knew and told the story. They believe me. No, bro, he got on the elevator. He said, "What's up, Shaq? How you doing, big dog?" Yes, he did. Yep. Wilshire Boulevard.
I've been spending my whole life with him thinking he can see. I know he can see.
You let Stevie Wonder drive your snowmobile. Stevie went behind the wheel.
Yeah.
By himself.
By himself.
Okay, see, what y'all don't know.
You were gonna dunk on Stevie?
What y'all don't know, Stevie can see. Stevie can see. It's just an act.
He can see?
Stevie can see.
Buy me a few planes and be able to fly them.
Oh, wow. You'd fly them yourself?
I flew a plane once well, actually twice.
What?
No.
Yeah. How'd you go?
Actually landed the plane.
No, he's kidding you.
And I go, "Are you gonna come out one day and go, surprise, I can see?" And he goes,
"In this year, I would reveal the truth."
Oh. He should do a pay-per-view.
R&B singer Ciara became the princess of crunk music in 2004 with her debut Goodies album, and from there, she only continued to rise in popularity. But rising to superstardom too quickly comes with haters and naysayers. In January 2005, Ciara became a victim of an internet rumor claiming she was born male and transitioned at the age of 11 when she underwent gender reassignment surgery. Now, this story went through many changes and variations, but one version claims that the singer backed out of a Playboy deal out of fear of her male parts being visible during the shoot, which would contradict the entire gender reassignment at 11 narrative. The next story was that Ciara was suing the doctor that performed the surgery for violating the doctor-patient confidentiality by disclosing the information to tabloids. Once those stories didn't take off or pick up traction, people came up with another bizarre story claiming that she came out as a lesbian hermaphrodite on the Oprah Winfrey Show. A hermaphrodite is an organism that is born both fully male and fully female and has both male and female reproductive organs. Hermaphroditism is commonly found in plant, animal, and fish species, but it's very rarely found in humans. This story would also kinda contradict the idea that Ciara transitioned. That year, she denied the rumors, saying, in quote, "I don't know how that rumor got started, but I know who I am. I've never been on Oprah. The music business is just like high school. People build you up so they can see you tumble." Ciara further dispelled the rumors on BET's 106 & Park, offering the public $100,000 to provide proof.
Clear the air right now. Let the people know what's going on.
Oh my goodness, there's so many crazy,
get
funny
ATL
things.
grimy.
And you know, I gotta say, none of them bother me, but I'll just do it just to do it because whatever. There's one thing about me being a man or something like that before I was, when I was born, I got a change.
Really?
A hermaphrodite or something like that. And they said that I went on Oprah and did it. And I'm like, okay, come on now. You know, if I was on Oprah, like, I mean, it takes a while before that happens for somebody going to Oprah. You know what I mean? Like, that's really big. So we know that didn't happen. If you can find it, though, I'll give you $100 grand and fly you around the world and do everything for you if you can find that tape and play it for me.
Right. But let's shut it down.
The death of rapper Tupac is one of the most infamous hip-hop cases of all time. It remained unsolved for decades, leading to confusion, disinformation, and many theories about the events that happened before and after the incident. The most ridiculous decades-long theory is that the rapper faked his death and is actually still alive. But let me tell you how we even got here in the first place. On the fateful night of September 7th, 1996, just moments before the incident, UCLA film student Leonard Jefferson snapped what would be the last photo of Tupac alive with Suge Knight behind the wheel. His life would be cut short in a matter of seconds, and that photo would be used as evidence in the case. But a conspiracy theorist named Gio Gennaro claims the photo is proof the rapper didn't die, claiming there were no keys in the ignition, even though the two were supposedly at a stoplight, and the photo is dated September 8th, 1996, while Tupac was shot and admitted to the hospital on September 7th. He went as far as to question why Tupac's autopsy has never been made public, and the coroner supposedly listed him as 50 pounds heavier than what he actually was. Furthermore, Gio claims no one's been able to identify the person that cremated Tupac. I have no clue why he thinks this information would be available to strangers who aren't related to the rapper. But fans also believe this fake death theory because of lyrics on his Don Columinati, the 7-Day Theory posthumous album, where he supposedly admitted to faking his own death. The words "Exit Tupac" and Machiavelli on the artwork solidified the theory for a lot of people. The name was derived from political theorist Niccolo Machiavelli, who wrote his 16th century treatise, The Prince, about faking death to fool your enemies.
I heard rumor I died, murdered in cold blood, traumatized. That was fiction. Some cattle got the story twisted, like I no longer existed, mysteriously missing. Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, I'm coming.
The designer of the artwork, Ronald Risky Brent, expressed his doubt in an interview with Crack magazine, saying, "Had Pac not died, the eeriness wouldn't have existed. His death made it sound darker than it was. Maybe ad-libs and stuff was added to the album after Pac's death to keep him feeling alive. A lot of people still think I was a vessel for a bigger plan. But look, if Pac was still alive, he couldn't have kept quiet all these years. He would have come back by now as he was too outspoken. The Outlaws said they smoked Pac's ashes, and I believed them." End quote. Then we have a man named Michael Nice, who claims he helped Tupac fake his own death and escape to Cuba from Vegas. He previously worked as a bodyguard for the rapper. And get this, Michael says that this was all a plot by the Black Panthers.
It was a hit on Tupac. There had been previous attempts on his life, and this one they had heard was coming from a much higher level, whether that be government agencies or whatever.
Pac allegedly disguised himself as a co-pilot on a jet to Barbados, then traveled to Cuba, where he's been hiding out all these years. Michael claims that he has video evidence, but has yet to release it to back up his claims. In a strange turn of events, Michael ended up faking his own death just days before he was expected to release his quote-unquote evidence to play into the conspiracy and make it look like his life was mysteriously taken by the forces behind Tupac's disappearance. But claims he did it because people were allegedly after him. Suge Knight was also peddling the conspiracy back in 2017, saying in quote, "With Pac, you never know."
The whole world know I hate rats, I hate snitches. I ain't into telling. So people always want to know, is Pac dead, is Pac alive? I'm the wrong motherfucker to ask. But I tell you this, if you try to find a person who cremated Tupac, after he supposed to cremated Tupac, he retired and vanished into the sun, into the sunset, into the darkness.
Suge's own son also claimed that Tupac was actually in Malaysia working on a new album. But besides that, there have been numerous alleged sightings of Tupac in various parts of the world, and people on the internet have been photoshopping him in pictures. He evidently hasn't aged one bit since 1996. Since the beginning of Janet Jackson's music career, she's dealt with two things: non-stop comparisons to her brother Michael, and rumors about a secret child. In September 1984, at the age of 18, Janet and fellow singer James DeBarge secretly eloped in Grand Rapids, Michigan. However, there were a lot of issues in their marriage very early on, and they separated after just 3 months. A year later, the marriage was annulled by her father, Joe, once he learned about his son-in-law's substance issues. The elopement and fallout was the biggest and most buzzed about celebrity scandal that year. It only led to more and more rumors and speculation. Around this time, when Janet was starring on the hit show Fame, a story came to light that the singer had secretly given birth to a baby girl. Viewers took notice of her weight gain on the show and assumed she was pregnant, but Janet later revealed that it was due to birth control. The conspiracy continued for years and only spiraled out of control. Stories circulated the tabloids alleging that the daughter was adopted and raised by her older sister Rebe, or possibly brother Jackie. For years, people speculated that Janet's niece, Rebe's daughter Brandy, and brother Randy's daughter Stevana were the possible daughters. James's brother Young DeBarge did a radio interview claiming that the child's name is Renee and was in fact living with Rebe. He said in quotes, "James and the Jackson family kept everything real close, real tight. They weren't very revealing about what the relationship was about." In the 2010s, the story made headlines again, mainly because members of the DeBarge family, who were all struggling with substance and money issues, played into the conspiracy. James allegedly told Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's jailed personal physician, that the singer had in fact given birth to his child but gave her up for adoption and pleaded to finally reunite with the child, saying, "Janet has always kept things hidden, so none of this should surprise anyone. I don't want to live the rest of my life not knowing the truth. I know you have enough money to keep this secret from the whole world. The one thing I learned from you and your family is how much money can buy and keep a secret." End quote.
So you asked her if she was pregnant?
And
you
I
didn't
just
ask
told
her.
her she was pregnant. I didn't ask her.
Oh, you told her?
I said, "Girl, you're pregnant. Look how fat you're getting." She just laughed it off. She never denied it.
That has haunted the family for a long time.
Bunny says she had first-hand knowledge of Janet's pregnancy.
Did you ever see Janet where you thought she was pregnant?
Yes. When the marriage was annulled, that Janet was pregnant. And James believed that as well.
You believe that there's a child?
I think we all believe that James and Janet had a child.
Only she knows the truth.
Christina DeBarge is keenly aware of the rumors. She's the 26-year-old daughter of Janet's first husband, James DeBarge. Christina, who's a singer herself, says reports about the existence of Janet Jackson's secret daughter could be real.
Do you have a secret sister?
I believe I do have a sister out there.
In an interview with Inside Edition in 2000, DeBarge wouldn't confirm nor deny the birth of a daughter with Janet.
If it's true, you'll find out when she's ready for you to find out.
I'm sure he feels betrayed. I'm sure he feels sad. I'm sure he feels disappointed. I'm sure he feels like he was robbed of that relationship with his daughter. But at the same time, I know my dad loves Janet till this day, and he doesn't want to hurt her.
I'm tired of the media. I'm tired of secrecy. I'm tired of the truth not coming forward and people being a coward when it comes to it. And I thought it was wise for me to speak out now because it needs to be addressed. To be honest with you, I didn't know. I was under the impression that there was no baby. And I wanted to believe it's not true, but it is.
This is a shock to me. My dad is now telling me that I have a half-sister. And with Janet Jackson, I mean, very, very, very just weird.
Then a Philadelphia woman by the name of Tiffany White came forward alleging that she's a secret daughter of Janet and James. She says she grew up in and out of foster care and never knew her real parents until she allegedly got a message from Janet herself admitting to being her biological mother. Telling Radar Online, "Janet has been denying me for many years. I waited 31 years. I want people to know the truth. Now it's time for me to tell my truth. I don't want to get famous off this. Trust me, I don't. I just want my mother. I want my father." The last statement is interesting because in addition to numerous interviews with media outlets, Tiffany became a part of Christina DeBarge's storyline on Growing Up Hip Hop.
When Janet contacted me a couple years ago, she mentioned a woman's name on her birth certificate, and she said that wasn't my mother. She was my mother.
So how do you know that it was her?
She said it was Janet. You know, I'm Janet Jackson.
That's,
I have all the texts and proof it. She texted me and told me.
Wow.
She said she was my mother. She said she was Janet Jackson.
Listening to Tiffany's story, it just doesn't really add up. I really don't think that Janet herself actually called her. I love my...
The pop star eventually welcomed a son named Isa in 2017 with her then husband Wissam Al-Mana, prompting James's mother Ederline and sister Bunny to also come forward with more secret child claims. Ederline even took a DNA test with Tiffany to prove it. Somehow, they were a 96.7% match.
Now, Janet's former mother-in-law, Ederline DeBarge, is on a search for the truth. Does Janet Jackson have a secret daughter?
I know there's a daughter out there somewhere.
Ederline DeBarge was there when her son's marriage to Janet Jackson collapsed all those years ago. Then something happened. Janet disappeared from public view. That's when the rumors began that Janet had gone into seclusion to give birth. After the baby was born, she was supposedly placed in foster care. Other reports claim that Janet's sister Rebe raised the child. Over the years, Ederline says she has been contacted by several women claiming to be Janet's secret daughter. One day, she says she hit pay dirt when a woman who lives in Philadelphia reached out to her. At first, Ederline was skeptical.
I told her, I said, the proof is in the pudding. Let's go get the DNA.
So this is the DNA test, and it says the probability of relatedness is 96.7%. You didn't believe there'd be a match?
No way.
They felt an instant connection. But is she really Janet Jackson's secret daughter? You are convinced that Tiffany is your granddaughter, that Janet Jackson is the mother, and that James, your son, is the father.
I've never been so convinced.
The mystery continues.
All right, we'll let y'all talk. We'll come out.
When I first saw this girl, I gotta be honest, I didn't think she and I were related. When you see a DeBarge, you know they are related to me. Our genes are strong. We all look alike. This girl, she doesn't look anything like us. I definitely don't want you to feel like, I don't believe you or anything like that. I just, for my own peace of mind, would like to do a DNA test because this was going on for years, since I was a little girl. I've been hearing about these rumors too. If my grandmother really does think that this girl is my half-sister, I'm not gonna take anyone's word for it. I want scientific proof.
But Bunny questions the validity of the DNA test. She says there's no way that Tiffany is their child.
How did you feel when your mom came forward and said she believes this woman is the child of James and Janet?
I'm like, Mom, maybe she's some kin to you, but she's not James and Janet's daughter. Come on now.
Why? Just doesn't look like James, doesn't look like Janet?
Right.
Well, a few months later, the DNA results proved that there was zero chance of paternity between Tiffany and James, confirming this was all a hoax. And of course, Janet's not gonna waste her time doing a test for something she knows is false. Bunny DeBarge eventually walked back her claims after the DNA results and apologized for spreading the hoax. Janet Jackson finally broke her silence nearly 40 years later in part 2 of her Lifetime and A&E documentary, Janet. Even James denied the existence of a child after playing games all these years.
The rumors about you having James's baby.
Oh, where was the baby? Nobody saw a baby. I mean, she was there with us all day, every day. Where was the baby?
They were saying that I was raising her daughter.
I couldn't believe it.
I don't like the weight of that negativity around me. I could never keep a child away from James. How could I keep a child from their father? I could never do that. That's not right. I don't know where that ridiculous idea came from.
And there you have it, folks. No secret baby. It would be very hard in this day and age to keep a secret like that for so long. For at least 20 years, international superstar Beyoncé has been at the center of numerous conspiracy theories, from her alleged affiliation with the Illuminati and allegedly sacrificing Aaliyah to become the queen of music. We've heard it all. But who would have guessed her first pregnancy announcement would become a big conspiracy and the biggest news story of 2011? I already covered this in my video about the most shocking moments of the 2010s decade. But since we're on the topic of ridiculous celebrity hoaxes and conspiracies, I have to regurgitate this story. By 2011, Beyoncé had been married to Jay-Z for 3 years, and the couple had been the subject of many pregnancy rumors. Media Takeout first reported about Beyoncé allegedly being pregnant in mid-2011, but those reports went unnoticed because the publication is known for posting fictitious stories about celebrities. Beyoncé had secretly suffered miscarriages earlier in the year and the year prior. But on August 28th, she formally announced her pregnancy on the red carpet of the 2011 MTV VMAs by simply clutching her visible bump, saying to the assembled press, in quote, "I have a surprise." And during the show, Beyoncé brought down the house with a performance of her song Love on Top. Then after generating a standing ovation from the audience, she ripped open her blazer and proudly revealed her baby bump. Beyoncé had been doing music videos and concerts while pregnant and no one noticed. Her pregnancy announcement had broken the most tweets per second recorded for a single event on Twitter, receiving nearly 9,000 tweets per second, and the phrase Beyoncé pregnant increased over 5,000% in Google searches. But this exciting moment immediately turned into a media debacle.
Some are wondering if Beyoncé is faking her baby bump after the singer appeared on an Australian TV show.
Bumpgate went viral.
Sources are saying that she is straight up faking her pregnancy.
Beyoncé just can't put her feet up and enjoy being pregnant. Some people are actually accusing her of wearing a fake baby bump.
In October, B sat down for an interview with the Australian talk show Sunday Night HD. As she was taking a seat, her loose-fitted dress folded, which people mistook as her pregnant belly collapsing. This caused some speculation about whether she was wearing a prosthetic belly. The video also fueled rumors about J and B hiring a surrogate to carry their first child instead so that she can maintain her nice figure. A month earlier, she was seen on vacation with her belly exposed, but the general public insisted that her bare baby bump looked a bit odd and was fake. To make matters worse, Wendy Williams analyzed her stomach and walked her audience through the clip by each frame. She had her pregnant staffers come out and do a sit-down test in dresses that weren't even the same fit as the one Beyoncé wore. Beyoncé called the rumor stupid, ridiculous, and false.
There's a stupid rumor. It's actually the most ridiculous rumor I think I've ever had about me. I guess there are some crazy celebrities in the world, so we get a bad rep.
On January 7, 2012, Beyoncé gave birth to a daughter, Blue Ivy Carter. To introduce her baby to the world, she launched a blog with pics of her newborn, titled Hello Blue Ivy Carter. Then the chaos started again when people thought Blue Ivy looked like a reborn doll, claiming Beyoncé was carrying around the doll to go along with her fake pregnancy. Los Angeles native Nipsey Hussle went from independent mixtape rapper to Grammy-nominated artist, entrepreneur, and community activist. In 2018, the rapper's album Victory Lap became his first major commercial release, marking the beginning of his mainstream career after 13 years of independently releasing a string of mixtapes. But just a year later, on March 31st, 2019, his life would be cut short in front of his own store in his own neighborhood. Moments Moments after the incident, videos made rounds on the internet of the aftermath and first responders' efforts to save his life. But all of the details of the events that took place prior remained a mystery, causing confusion and speculation, which eventually manifested into an unexpected, baseless conspiracy theory. Across social media platforms, people raised doubt about this being a random attack and placed the blame on the government?
That is a military-style hit. It was in and out. The way it happened was in and out, very quick. The United States government, and I just say this specifically, in downtown LA a couple months ago, have been practicing military drills. Downtown LA, they were practicing military drills, going in and out of businesses.
That man, y'all better wake up and understand that they don't want none of us here. It's all money. It's all money. Cancer makes too much money. AIDS makes too much money. You a fool if you think that shit ain't fucking man-made. Pay attention. Pay attention to what he was trying to teach y'all. Pay attention to what he was trying to put y'all onto. Look further into inside job. This is the government trying to shut this man up because he know that we were listening. Because he know that he had power over the community. He was helping the community too much. Y'all better get y'all shit together. I need y'all to understand that he sacrificed himself to teach us. So go find that knowledge, because that documentary, they're not going to let it be released. Go find that knowledge. Go find the shit that he was trying to teach you and change your ways. Don't let them get you too. Then he died. That was a government sniper that killed that man. Y'all better wake up.
Custom range. Pull up articles that was made, no, not March, February 1st to March 27th. So y'all notice that article was already made, but none of these articles went live until the 31st. Fox made an article on February 7th, but they didn't publish it until March 31st. Saying February 7th, he died outside his shop. Photos on February 10th. Google.
Come on, man, talk to me, man. Y'all gotta wake up. This shit is a trap. I swear it's a trap. Y'all gotta wake up. This shit a trap, man. It's like, it hurt to see Sadie go. Then you got somebody in position to still push Sadie legacy. And then they gotta go. It's like a trap. All you gotta do is talk truth and they gonna kill you, man. All you gotta do is tell the truth and they gonna kill you. And then you'll be dead. And then these people gonna go in the media and sell whatever story about this on him.
But why would the government have it out for this rapper? Internet sleuths aimed their focus at Nipsey's cryptic final tweet sent hours before he was killed that read, "Having strong enemies is a blessing," also focusing their attention on an interview where he shared that he was in the process of making a documentary on Dr. Sebi. Nipsey then jokes that if something mysteriously happens to him, he needs people to, quote, ride for him.
And so you know how they play.
Oh yeah.
You know, niggas was tweeting me, "Hustle, be careful, man. Your plane gonna go down." I say, "Niggas better ride for me."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't pray, ride for a nigga.
Yeah,
I tell
that's
them,
it.
yeah. But that's heavy. I want to work with you on that one.
I would love to.
Yes,
I would
indeed.
love to.
Yeah.
These were the two biggest pieces of evidence that made people think the government and the medical industry executed Nipsey to silence his efforts and spread the word and reveal the truth. Dr. Sebi was a self-proclaimed herbalist healer who had many celebrity clients. Though he never studied medicine, he promoted herbal remedies for people with ailments and started selling his cell food as a cure for every disease including AIDS, cancer, sickle cell anemia, asthma, diabetes, and even blindness. He was tried and acquitted in the United States for practicing medicine without a license, but was ordered to stop making these claims. He developed a community of loyal supporters, but to many others, Dr. Sebi was nothing but a fraud and grifter. He ended up being arrested on charges of money laundering and died of pneumonia while in custody in 2016, leading to another big conspiracy. His supporters speculated that he was taken out by Big Pharma and the government to put a stop to his cures for diseases. But his family denies this. Intellectual Media did a great deep dive on Dr. Sebi on her channel, so if you want more details, please head over to the linked video. Now back on the topic of Nipsey Hussle. Lisa Left Eye Lopez ended up dying in Honduras in 2002 after visiting Dr. Sebi and sharing his claims. So people thought there was a connection between the two. Well, After days of conspiracy chaos on social media, surveillance footage was released to the public showing a man in a dark shirt firing at the rapper before fleeing, and the person of interest was identified as 29-year-old Eric Ronald Holder Jr. According to a friend of Nipsey and other witnesses, the two got into a heated argument prior to the incident. Other people speculated that this was nothing more than a gang-related incident since both were gang-affiliated, but the LAPD concluded that this was just a random argument and the perpetrator acted in the heat of the moment.
They killed the homeless, man. Then you got the internet talking about the government. That's making me more hot. I'm like, oh, I want to say something so bad.
Dr. Stevie bullshit.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Then you got the internet saying bullshit, making me more hot. You're like, oh.
You would think that this would put an end to the conspiracies, but people weren't satisfied with the outcome. The story continued to spiral and was then spun into a narrative claiming that the government hired Eric off the street to carry out the hit in exchange for $75,000. People even went as far as setting up fake profiles in his name where false confessions were posted. Eric was later convicted and sentenced to 60 years in prison, contradicting this entire government plot debacle. And this might be one of the most ridiculous celebrity hoaxes we've seen in years.
So I personally don't believe these conspiracy theories people are throwing out there in regards to Nipsey Hussle's murder. People saying that the government killed him because he was going to do this documentary on Dr. Sebi, the man who allegedly cured HIV. The reason why it doesn't make sense to me is just for two reasons. Number one, just because Nipsey Hussle died doesn't mean that the documentary can't still continue. Number two, wouldn't Nipsey Hussle's death make this documentary that much more popular? So we can throw all these conspiracy theories around all we want. I feel like it's just a transfer of accountability, and we're diverting it from the real issue because it was a black man who killed Nipsey in his own neighborhood. It wasn't a government spy or the Winter Soldier or some assassin. It was us.
Yes, the government has a history of shady business. We all know that. But come on. I have a laundry list of crazy celebrity conspiracies, and I'm thinking about making this a series. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to BFTV for more content.